Hello everyone and welcome to today's session. With the blessings of His Holiness Jagadguru Sri Shivratri Deshikendra Mahaswamiji Garu, I welcome everyone to Day 2 Professional Planning, a Way Forward webinar. I am Dr. Samya HK and I am honored to be the host for the today. At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by the spark from another person. Each of us has a cause to think with a deep gratitude of those who have lightened the flame within us. Being a frontline and or an essential worker today, during this pandemic means potentially exposing themselves and their families to COVID-19 while performing their job duties. Please take just a moment to send a thank you or a simple note of gratitude to all the members of our team and healthcare workers all across the state, the nation, and the world. Moving on, we have already witnessed a set of inspiring and knowledgeable seminars yesterday. We aim to do so today as well. I assure you that the lineup of the today's program is going to be filled with resource. Day 2 of Professional Planning series brings you a set of valuable speakers who have outshined themselves on various platforms. Here is always a room for personal growth in everyone's life. Growth is constant, whether by our own choice or the exterior influence, such as job or circumstances changes. A professional development plan is a set of targets for improving your talents, knowledge, and to keep up with the pace of change in your profession. Our first speaker for today is Dr. Srivatsa Bharadwaj, pedodontist who deals with the care of children's teeth. He has accomplished, he has He has accomplished and a passionate entrepreneur focused on innovations in healthcare for improved patient outcomes. He had over 24 years of experience. He is a founder of a chief mentor of League of Dentists, founding member of the Holio Medicine Association, and also founder of Vatsalya Oral Health Foundation, which runs the world's largest free dental clinic for the underserved population. He is a clinical director of Special Olympics International. Needless to say, he is a man filled with wisdom, and we are honored to have with us today. You're welcome, sir. And over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sama, for this introduction. Firstly, I'd just like to clarify if I'm audible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. I was very delighted to see your introductory video of what every faculty member at JSS is doing, and it makes me really proud because there are very few dental schools that I have seen in India, especially, which are of this mark and this standard. So hats off to JSS, and it makes me doubly proud because I am a product of JSS from my bachelor's as well as master's. And so it's extremely encouraging that somebody is doing, and the way you guys ended the video that you're proud to be a dentist is something that I have been striving for a very long time to induce among fellow dentists. So on that congratulatory note to all of you, let's begin today. I have been entrusted the task of speaking about pediatric dentistry as a means or choice of career. I have a different viewpoint on the entire subject, which I will present today. But to all the speakers here, I do see some 90 odd people who have signed up for this. Thank you so much for making time to listen to whatever pieces of experience that I can share more than wisdom. So the first and foremost thing that I think I would like to highlight is the aspect of pediatric oral care is relatively new as compared to different other branches. And it is a very fast-paced and a growing science. And to be very, very honest, I think the future of oral care lies in pediatric dentistry. Second, it is a master of all and jack of all. because that's probably the only science in dentistry which teaches you how to deal with not just your primary dentition, but also with permanent dentition, and most importantly, the mixed dentition phase, which is not probably an expertise in most or all of the other systems. Having said this, the edge that pediatric dentistry will generally give people is most or all of us who would like to enter into private dental practice, you will be a generalist for your private practice, which is a very good edge because you will be able to perform not just pediatric dental procedures, but it will also give you ability to diagnose and treat many conditions even in adult dental work. So this is a brief introduction to pediatric dentistry. I would like this session to be an open-ended question answer one. And I'd really appreciate if all of you guys can unmute your videos because it is kind of weird to be speaking to a black screen. So I'd really appreciate if everybody comes on video so that we have a more interactive session and a question answer based. So I'd leave this session open to people who really want to learn more or ask me any questions that are interesting to you, because I do respect that we have 30 minutes and I would like to stick to that time. So instead of me ranting more about what and how pediatric dentistry is great, I would focus on questions that I can answer. Thank you. So is there someone who would want to ask a question?
Sir, I'll be moving all the participants to the panel. So those who would like to ask questions can raise their hand so that I can move them to the panel. Thank you.
Sure. So as we line up participants for question answers, I think I'll also give another take to this. I did see the introduction which said that we are a bunch of enthusiastic participants who are here and kind of encourage them to take up masters. But unfortunately in India, I think there is a contrast to this because the availability of master degree courses is probably only for 10% of people who graduate. If I'm not wrong, roughly about 30,000 graduates graduate every year in India. And there are only about 3,000 postgraduate seats. And that makes it a huge challenge for people to take up masters, however much they may be interested. So that's a good source of debate. Second is, I think we run a cookie cutter model where most of us, as soon as we enter into, let's say, a bachelor's degree, we immediately want to finish it and get into a master's. Now, how do we make the choice of getting into a master's program? That is very, very critical and very important. Needless to say, 100% of us try to get into masters. And a lot of us, like we know, only 10% succeed and the rest get frustrated. So my take on this is that truly, I have never believed that it is a very good process to go through if we are simply jumping from a bachelor's onto a master's program as soon as we graduate. It is extremely important that you spend some time understanding the science of dentistry. For people who are privileged to study in very renowned schools like the JSS, may have a fair idea, but having said this, the entire process of dental education in the last 10 to 15 years I have been watching is kind of slowing down or is kind of losing its pace in terms of the kind of information that is shared and the exposure that a dental student gets. Because I run a chain of dental centers here in Bangalore called Vatsalya Dental, and I have recruited roughly about 200 dentists in the last 5 years and have interviewed over 2,000 dentists. Having said this, in just 5 years, I have been able to see a trend of how the education system has moved and the kind of quality of dentists that we are producing. It's a different topic for another day as to why that's happening. But having said this, that is something that we all must look into. And hence, I would actually not recommend anybody joining a postgraduate course as soon as they finish their bachelor's program, because you may just end up into something that probably you're not passionate about, which you will discover once you get it. Second, do not forget the pyramid of knowledge as you keep going upwards is only narrowing and narrowing and narrowing. And hence, it's very important for you to have that understanding that after spending 3 years in a master's program, some of or most of the important skills that you may actually require to be a general dentist may have been lost. And that lost is not just the skill, but the lost is the confidence. And hence it becomes even more difficult for you to switch. And if you want to do something else. And then we have this track in medicine that once you're a specialist, you need to stick to that. And that's a very difficult barrier to break and move on. So there are several examples of dentists, especially who have shifted lines and shifted careers and shifted different parts of specialties. And that's a very clear indication that the choices that we make may not be the choices that we really want. So I would strongly recommend that students who are passing out, get yourself exposed, understand the science. Don't go with the theme or an ideal. Don't listen to me that I'm saying pediatric dentistry is great. You go search for yourself. You do your research. You find out what is the truth. Go behind your experience, because I am nobody to recommend a master's in pediatric dentistry to anybody, because it is something that is going to live with you for life. And so my advice to all of you is, instead of looking at a master's, look at a vision. Write down a vision. Write down a goal that you want to set out to be. Now, most of the people whom we really know or understand who have been successful don't look at a master's as a goal or a vision. That is a step towards your vision. So what is it that you really want to do should be set in your mind, and then experience various things before you rule them out. Meet good, credible people who will spend time with you to give you that kind of information and exposure, and then you can make an informed decision. I am a big time proponent of democratization of education. I am honestly not a big fan of master's degree. I must say this, that a master's degree should be a choice only when you are obsessed with a certain skill set that you want to possess. And then you go ahead and do that master's degree to gratify yourself and to become that supreme knowledgeable person in that one particular skill set or knowledge set. That's my take on masters. Let's have some questions on. Thank you.
Guys, please unmute yourself and ask questions. You can also come online. You can raise your hands. We'll allow you to speak.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. Why don't you all unmute your videos? It's better to talk to people than to black screens. Yeah? I heard we're all... Yeah, go ahead, please.
Wajiha Ansari, please go ahead.
Go ahead. Progress.
Wajira
Can I have
Ansari?
the next question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I've been thinking about doing a master's, and I'm a bit confused about that planning, because planning should be done from the very start, as I've heard from my cousins and all, who is already a dentist and being done in something or the other furthermore. So I've been trying to find which subject I might be interested in, but then comes sometimes this comes into interest, and that comes into interest. But then when it comes to a periodontist, and I find it a bit really confusing, because sometimes I really love that, and then I find it how to manage even kids, they are really sometimes restless, and then they don't understand us, and then they don't even know how to describe what the problem is. So how to overcome that, and how can we just think to go in that field where they don't even know how to communicate, and how can we go be happy with that field?
So number one is I get to think of a veterinary doctor. At least here there's a parent who will come along and describe what the problem probably is. Imagine a veterinarian's situation where he has to do all his diagnosis and treatment planning and treatment care based on what he will look for in the in the animal. It is such a challenging part. At least with kids, you don't have that sort of a problem. So always make sure that the culture of your thinking is in this direction, where you start thinking by comparing and seeing that you're far better off in whichever thing that you would like to pursue, and look at examples that are even harder than what you are thinking. Number one. Number two, and this is precisely what I said, don't make a choice based on these fears. Don't make a choice based on these aspirations. Make a choice based on your experiences and give it time. Give it time, right? It's been 25 years that I graduated now, and I still feel that I'm kind of wanting to do so many things which I haven't been able to do. You understand? And
Yes.
most or all of the things that we aspire to do may or may not come our way. So that's the truth of life. And don't choose a degree, choose an excitement. So look at what excites you. And if that excitement is there throughout, and the excitement should never be for the sake of any material benefits like money, name, fame, or position. If any of these things are the reasons for which you're choosing something, you'll very soon lose out, because these are all slippery eels. So to give you an answer, look at what really excites you. Every profession is good. Every branch of specialization is good. There is no such thing that is bad, right? So
Yes.
look at, right? So look at housekeeping staff. Name 5 good housekeeping staff. Name 5 good auto drivers, taxi drivers, housemaids. There's demand everywhere. And this is the message that I singularly want to give to all the dentists, that there is no saturation of dentistry. It's a myth. It's a myth. It's a blinder that people have put, and dentistry, unfortunately, is running with those blinds in the race course, where you're not able to see the opportunities that exist, right? So
Yes.
that democratization of education in dentistry must happen, and we must open up sharing and caring of all the knowledge that we have.
Yes.
So yeah, please write to me. I will be very happy to guide you through this process. And precisely for this reason, I have started this initiative called as the League of Dentists, which is nothing but not about clinical sciences, but it's about speaking and guiding people who really want to up their ante and their careers. Opportunities are innumerable in this globe. It's about how much you make yourself available and how much you have the drive to go and make it happen. It's all that. It's pretty simple. And trust me, no branch or no field is easy.
Because sir, sometimes I'm really fascinated by how I can be friendly with small kids. Whenever I have a look at my cousin, one of my cousin who is a pedo, and I wow, I love kids. But then at the other side, I feel like, oh my god, they can't even communicate properly. How can a diagnosis be really specific for them? And I'm really confused. But then sometimes
Right.
prosto is really important for me, and wow, I'm interested in that. It happens to me a lot. I don't know why.
So do small experiments. Go out and meet children, and you don't have to meet them in dental settings, but meet children and see if you have the art of persuasiveness. If you can mold their understanding, if you're able to communicate with them, these are important checks.
So,
Yeah, do that. Thank you, Vagan. Sorry for asking this question. I appreciate it.
sir,
Yes, sir.
So
Good
there
evening.
is one question, sir.
Sure.
Are there any new materials and techniques in pediatric dentistry? It is from Dr. Balraj.
I think please look up journals for these. These are pretty straightforward questions. I think we should spend time more creatively on inspiring people into it. So new materials in dentistry, there are tons of them coming every single day. There are new technologies evolving every single day. So the latest technique that I can talk to you about is not just about a procedure, but it's a thing which I would like to educate all of you about, is the holo medicine. So please check out the Holo Medicine Association. We have founded this. There are top 50 doctors, policy experts, and technologists around the globe who have founded this association called the Holo Medicine Association, which is in Belgium. And we founded this 2 months ago. We have been discussing this for several months now. And this is the next level technology, like Ms. Ansari was also asking about management and all of that. So this is driven towards solving all of those issues. So our initiative is backed by the Microsoft directly. And so it's about wearing a HoloLens and being able to be in an operatory or with a patient in their home or in that place directly without the need of any other technology. So all the computers, screens, everything goes. This technology is called holoportation. Please look through it. I'll be happy to share more information if people have questions about it.
Dr. Virish, you can ask.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, sir. So as you mentioned about the choice, how to select the choice of the different branches. So my doubt regarding this is, every candidate who is giving NEET MDS has his own individual choice regarding whatever might be the branches. It might come from starting from ortho, conservative, whatever, sir. So my doubt is, if at all the candidate doesn't get any college of his dream branch, then if the candidate compromises with the other branch, whatever it might be the aging process or the economic, whatever. So how the candidate should cope up the interest which he got rather than missing his dream, what you're going to say, branch? How to cope up with this situation?
Very good question. Very good question. And in 1996, I was thoroughly disappointed with a similar thing that happened to me at JSS. And I was very keen to study community dentistry. It might be a surprise for all of you. I wanted to be a community dentist, and that was my passion. But then I didn't get through it. And for whatever reasons, I actually got a surgery master's with a PhD abroad in Sweden at the same time, but it was a year later. In the hallway of our old dental college, that's where I studied, which is probably now the Ayurvedic college. There I met Professor Manjunath, extraordinary man, who met me and told me that you don't have to be disappointed, because not everything that you desire in your life will ever come to you. And that's the way life is. So you have to adapt. You have to learn to adapt. And that's where I told Viresh that the first and foremost thing is you need to have a goal. You need to have that vision. It's not about a master's. You're not going to be happy just because, let's assume that I would have gotten community dentistry. It will make me happy for that moment. But then what after I finish my post-graduation community dentistry? What do I even know? Why am I excited about surgery or community dentistry or pediatric dentistry? So don't choose a subject, choose a vision that you really want to be, because a vision is like sky. It is never going to be complete in this part of your life. And so you're always excited about doing newer things. But then your master's in whichever way is something that's going to change. So that gave me an insight, and that gave me a kind of solace. So I really want to tell you that, number one. Number two, I didn't choose a subject, but I chose a person. So my professor I chose was Professor Nandlal. Extraordinary, because it is not the subject that you need to learn, but the philosophy of approaching that patient care is what you need to learn. Today, I can proudly say, if I can share the pictures of our clinic that we have, we are rated among the top 5 dental centers in the world. American Dental Association recommended glass cubicles for COVID-19 dental practice, right? We were 20 years ahead. How? It was not because of anything, but the culture that Dr. Nandlal set into us while we were working. It was not pulpectomy or space maintenance that he taught us. but he taught us the importance of infection control, and that was the DNA. Anybody who walks into any of our clinics speaks how spick, span, and clean it is. And that is the culture that you need to learn. So don't attach yourself to degrees, attach yourself to ambitions, attach yourself to people who can teach you some of these obsessiveness, which are the right ways to practice. Otherwise, you see, look at burnouts, look at frustration, look at most dentists, even after their masters, they want to quit, they want to do something else. I know so many very successful implantologists and oral surgeons who have quit. And it's not, they haven't quit because of anything, but they just got bored of it. Why do you get bored of something that you are passionate about? That's the fundamental truth that you need to realize. And that happens because you have not set a goal. You've set a goal is masters. Masters can't be a goal. You end it in 3 years, then what? And then money becomes a goal. Then an Audi becomes a goal. Then a house becomes a goal. But those are not goals. You will end up losing yourself and traumatizing yourself, because even if 100% of these things that you set as your goals you achieve, you will hit a roadblock. And life is not smooth, my dear. Whereas if you're trying to do something exciting in life, where you have that thing which is focused to serve, like look at all the initiatives, right? My professor encouraged me to take up something in special needs. It wasn't even known 20 years ago, right? So we did some pioneering work on special needs. When we went with our research, everybody wrote it off, telling that, oh, this is not going to be a big deal, but it is. It got the best paper award. So you need to do things that are totally different. And for that, you don't need subjects. You don't need masters. You need a mentor who has shared the same vision and who is a person who carries that level of passion for basics. Because a teacher should never tell you what to do. A teacher must just nurture you, right? And so that is my advice to everybody here, including you, Viresh, here, that you don't have to be disappointed. So just imagine, I wanted to be a community dentist. I wanted to do something else. I had a surgery master's in Sweden, but then I chose my professor because of the qualities he carried, right? And that's very important. And you pick up things from different people. I watched Dr. B.K. Chandramohan. He's still my favorite. The way he carried himself as a doctor, right? So you pick up those traits from different people, because we are talking about human beings who have personalities. Your skill is different. And that is something that our oral care is missing today, that we just teach people subjects and we teach people techniques. But no patient is going to wake up from your consulting chair and sit on your dental chair for treatment just because you have 5 degrees from United States or UK or from India. It is the way you approach that care, the way you understand people, the way you understand not just one person's psychology, but the entire psychology of the community where you're practicing. And this is the culture that has to be taught to people in dental schools. If I were having the liberty, I would change the entire curriculum. We can cut short the curriculum to probably 1 year and teach everything in terms of the sciences of techniques. But this is something that is a behavioral change that is required. And so look at it from that viewpoint. All of you are very young. Don't give up. Life is a river without end, and there is lots to do. Don't be discouraged. If anybody is telling you there's no scope for dentistry, they're lying through their nose. I've heard this in 1990 when I joined dentistry, that there is no scope for dentistry. 30 years later, people are still telling the same, right? It's not the truth. All the corporates would never be advertising as every 5th ad on the television is about an oral care product, right? Every person is now conscious. A corporate would never blow crores of rupees on an advertisement on TV if they didn't have the market. They're not dumb like us. We're just passionate, but they're very calculative, right? So always understand the pulse behind everything that's happening. Use your analytical mind. Train yourself to think that way and give it time. Give it time and go behind experiences. And don't go behind this, me telling do pediatric dentistry, somebody else telling this. And it's not a war between specialties, but we all must support each other in every single way, right? I hope that gives you some clarity. I'd be
Yes.
happy to talk to you anytime. Please get in touch with me.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Good evening.
Viresh. I
Thank
would
you.
now like to call Prabhat to unmute
Good evening.
himself. On your video, please.
It's not opening, ma'am.
That's okay, you can ask.
Yeah. Good evening, sir.
Hi.
Sir, I have a serious doubt. Many people have asked me, like, why you joined dentistry? It's by choice or by chance?
Okay.
Yeah. So I want to ask you the same question. Like, who inspired you to be a dentist, or like you joined by choice or by chance? What was your?
I joined by chance. I have put down my email and phone numbers. People can connect with me directly post this session. I'll be happy to get in touch and answer any questions because time may be limited here and I respect that. So I joined by chance. I didn't even know what dentistry was. My dad could not afford a medical seat, so he put me into dentistry. I was very passionate to be a doctor, but unfortunately, it was a matter of 50,000 rupees, which was the difference between dentistry and medicine, and he couldn't afford it. So he said dentistry is a good one, and there is future to that. And so there you are. So most of us, if I ask you, were you born in India by chance or by choice?
By chance only.
Right? How did we get our names? By chance or by choice?
Might be that was by choice only.
Not by your choice, somebody else's choice. You couldn't choose your name, right? And
Yes.
the parents we have, the surroundings we live in, everything is not by choice. It is a misnomer that dentists have gotten into this groove that I got into medicine in dentistry because I didn't get medicine. That's a very wrong attitude to have. I'll give you an example of a very close friend of mine. Look her up, Dr. June Nunn. She's the mother of special care dentistry, emeritus dean of Trinity University in Dublin, and she's a very dear friend to me for over 20 years. I asked her this question, and if you look at her biography, she very clearly states that she never wanted or she never knew dentistry and dentist. She wanted to be a doctor, MBBS, but she dentistry, but went on to be one of the world's pioneering specialist dentists, right? So we need to look beyond these choices. I think like the advice that I got from Dr. Manjunath, I can never forget this, that you don't have most or oftentimes the choices to make. You get what you get. The people who succeed are the ones who make the best out of what they have. And that's called focus. So that is what I would answer you with.
Thank you, sir.
Do you have a following question, Prabhat?
Yes, sir. Like, how you were keeping yourself motivated during exam times, or you are getting stressed or not? It was
No, I never got stressed. I never got stressed. People around me got stressed. All my teachers will give you stories about me. They all got stressed because of me, I think. I wasn't stressed about my exams or anything. But yeah, it came naturally. I think it's like meditation. You know, people talk about meditation, or some of you might have observed that when you go into shower, you get some ideas. Or when you go into a garden and when you're peaceful, you get certain ideas. So if you go behind the science, the neuroscience behind all of these things, you will understand very soon that the more you focus on your core issue, you will start going outward, and that is where your mind will wander, and that's called stress. The more you start going away from it, you will start going inwards and you will get solutions. So one of the tricks that I have always used, I have used headphones as I have walked from the hostel or from the place that I would stay till I enter the exam hall. I would be listening to some music. I have never ever carried a book. I have never read anything until I enter the exam hall and things like that. So be more relaxed and you will see a change. And it's very clearly evident also in the Indian team. Traditionally, Indian team would be practicing until they enter the match practice. But now you see there's a trend, there's a change in trend. They play other games. They play football, they do running, catching, they do handball, and so many other things. So it's very important to keep yourself active with different other aspects of life, which will keep you going and creative. And there's nothing called stress. Don't worry about it.
Thank you, sir.
My
Thank you,
pleasure.
Prabhat. Next, I would like to call Yukta. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah, please on your video.
Good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening.
Sir, I would like to ask, what if a person is best in whatever he's doing? He's like the best. And even if he's not happy, then what should he do?
What do you call as best? Best in what? Best in a skill?
Yeah, in a skill.
That's hardly important. That's hardly
So,
important.
okay.
So that's exactly what I was saying, that you can be very good in one skill, but do remember that over a period of
Happiness
time,
is-
anything that we have as skill, suppose if I am very good at performing endodontic therapies in children, right? Don't forget that it's not a permanent skill,
Yeah.
right? World's best batsman, Sachin Tendulkar, ages, has to retire, and there will be a small kid like Sachin Tendulkar started his journey, somebody who will go and beat his record. So it's very important to understand this in life, that we all need to be grounded. We all need to be grounded. And that is where I said this, Yukta, you're bringing me back to the same comment about the vision that you must carry. So you must think about a larger good that you can do, which can continue as a legacy throughout your lifetime and the lifetime to come, rather than you looking at just what you have, because what you have, you can lose, you will lose. And those are setting stones for disappointment. If you have a specific example or a personal comment that you want to share, I'll be happy to answer that. But if this is okay, it's fine.
No, sir, I understood.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Yukta. It was very interesting to have the interactive session. So you can get touch in with sir through email or a mail, which will be shared on the chat. Thank you so much. Over to Dr. Deepa.
Thank you, sir. It was very interesting and a wonderful interactive session with our students, sir. Hope our students have taken up your tips and words. Thank you for your thoughtful words, sir. We request now to kindly receive our token of appreciation from the organizing committee in the form of certificates.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. And I'm available always for anybody, including any one of you or students or freshers that you know of who need any sort of guidance or experience that I can share. I would be wrong if I say I can advise, because with whatever little I know and I do, I'll be happy to share and partner through their journeys, because that's very important. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
Take
Thank
care.
you, sir.
One last advice.
Sure,
If
sir.
all of us as dentists, I think, should support one another.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Oh, good evening. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, sir, by your wishes and God's grace. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. I am so happy that you are here.
I mean, it's opening talk, and I'm sure people are very impressed about how to look at more than the specialty. It's the desire.
Absolutely, sir. And no better person than you to learn from, because you're a multifaceted person who has always been enthused and continue to do so much amount of good work. I think they're all sitting with an example live under you, and I hope people will open up their eyes to look through that.
Sure. Thank you for that.
Thank you,
It's
sir.
better to hear from who have experienced over time.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Shri, now we can.
Yes, I would like to ask you one small question, sir. When I finished my BDS and I moved out, I was not interested in pursuing my further MDS. I wanted to work in a clinic and learn more. But when I started working in a clinic, it was all fine. Later on, I had this pressure from the society and everyone that I have to do something in spite of me not being interested, but how to handle such kind of situations is my question.
I think this is not unusual at all. There's a very simple story, right? That once there was a man and his son walking alongside a donkey, and people said that, oh my God, what is this? You have a donkey and you're walking with it. Why don't you sit on it? And so they sat on it. And then people started telling that, look at these people, they're torturing the donkey. Both of them are sitting on the donkey and walking and making the donkey work. So then what they did is they carried the donkey and they were walking. Then people said, look at how foolish they are, that they are carrying the donkey where they could be sitting on it. So life is like this. If you keep hearing to others' noises, you will lose out on your own noise. So the best thing that you have to do is listen to your own inner voice and that subtle intuitive guidance that you will get. So stop getting bothered about what others are saying. Look at what bothers you. Your vision is something that will keep you awake at night happily. And if there is some dream that you have like that, go behind it. Irrespective of anything, you will be successful. Imagine Elon Musk. Can anybody dare to think that we'll go to Mars? Right? So you need to have, you just don't have to worry. There are so many inspiring stories like that. So don't get bothered about what others are saying. Keep your focus on what you're doing. As long as you're ethical, you're honest, and you're true to yourself, that's all that matters. That is success according to me. And attempt it. Success is not in the outcome. Success is in the attempt.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Most welcome.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
Jayashree.
Great. I think we're past time. I really respect time, so I don't want to delay others. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
My
It was
pleasure.
really a very good interactive session.
Always available anytime. You can call me on. I'll be happy to do these any number of times.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot for inviting me. I'll take leave. Thank you.
Thank you, Nandlal sir, also for joining to us.
Yeah, thank you. No,
Thank you,
sir.
Nandlal sir.
Good seeing you.
yeah, same. My pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.